bay. A single light appeared. I knew its rhythm before the second turn. Years ago we watched it from the edge of the pier. You leaned beside me with both hands on the rail. Neither of us spoke. We didn't need to. Each sweep of light returned across the water by the third. You were looking at me. Tonight the pier was closed, so I watched from farther back. Ropes moved against the posts with a low wooden sound. Beyond the dark water, that same light came around. Once, then again, I counted without meaning to, the way we used to do. 3 slow turns, a pause, then brightness across the bay. People left before I did, and the shore grew quiet. I remained near the fence, watching from a distance. No promise came to mind, no words I wished to change. Only that turning light crossing the water again. When I finally walked away, it reached the shore behind me. I didn't turn around. I knew it would return. Walking slowly, I reached the old crossing. Across the pavement, something looked different. The tall tree was no longer there. Only its circle remained in the ground. Years ago, we stopped beneath it, waiting for the heat to leave the road. You leaned against the roughened trunk, while I stood close beside you. I remember the shade falling over us, your quiet face We never thought to remember that day. It was only a place to rest. Now the open sky reached all the way down, and I missed what once stood there. Cars moved past on the wider street, new signs hung above the crossing. People hurried through the afternoon, no one seemed to notice the change. Near the curb I stopped once more, a few dry leaves rested on the ground. Then came the thought I hadn't expected, how many ordinary days become the ones we keep. I remember the shade falling over us, your quiet face turned toward mine. We never thought to remember that day. It was only a place to rest. Now the open sky reached all the way down, and I missed what once stood there. Among the names once stopped my eyes, printed so plainly halfway down the page. Years had passed since I had seen it. For one brief moment the room fell away. Came your voice, quiet and low. How you would pause before saying my name. I read those letters once again, then rested the page against my hand. Your name came back softly to me, carrying years I thought had gone. No sudden sorrow, no words to say, only a memory passing through. Others around me turn their pages. Chairs move gently across the floor. Nobody noticed why I had stopped, or what that name had brought to mind. So many details had slipped away, places we went, things that we said. But seeing your name was enough that day to bring your face close again. Your name came back softly to me, carrying years I thought had gone. No sudden sorrow, no words to say, only a memory passing through. Clouded daylight covered the bridge as I reached the railing. Dark water moved below, slow enough to watch. We had crossed this way for years without thinking where it ended. You would stop near the middle and look down at the current. I never asked why, I simply waited until you turned toward me, and we walked on together. Today my hands found the same cold rail. Traffic passed behind me, then faded farther away. Tall reeds leaned along the bank while a bicycle crossed the other side. I stopped there halfway across. For a moment I could almost recall the sound of your steps beside mine. Not the words we spoke, only the pace, slow and easy, all the way across. By the time I reached the far side, the light had begun to fade. Birds moved above the water toward the distant shore. I walked several steps before looking back. From there the middle of the bridge seemed farther than before. You always waited there for me, it came back rested my hand on the railing once more, then continued on. That afternoon, we walked a little farther. Neither of us was in a hurry then. You talked about something I can't remember. I only recall the sound of your voice. At the crossing, we waited for the light. Your hand brushed mine as people passed us by. We said we'd meet again in a few days and went our separate ways as we always did. We didn't know it was the last time. There was no reason for us to know. You smiled at me before you turned away. I watched you go, then carried on. If I had known, I might have stayed beside you a little longer. For many years, I remembered other things, places we went, and words we used to say. But lately it's that ordinary evening coming back more clearly than the rest. The way you turned just once before the corner, the easy wave you gave without a thought. I must have smiled and raised my hand to you, then watched the crowd carry you away. We didn't know it was the last time. There was no reason for us to know. You smiled at me before you turned away. I watched you go, then carried on. If I had known, I might have stayed beside you a little longer. Cleaning the closet, I found your old coat. One sleeve had fallen across another hanger. Reaching inside to straighten the pocket, my fingers touched a folded piece of paper. The print had faded almost beyond reading. One corner carried a date from long ago. Then I remembered walking home beside you after the music had ended for the night. I kept that little ticket resting in my hand, thinking of the walk we took that evening. You spoke about the music all the way back home. I hardly knew why it returned so clearly. Such a small thing from an ordinary night had waited all these years inside your coat. Outside the closet, daylight crossed the floor. The coat looked smaller than I remembered. I turned the ticket carefully between my hands. Its paper softened along every fold. Most of that evening had slipped away with time. I couldn't name the songs we heard that night, but I remembered how slowly we walked home, neither of us ready for the evening to end. I kept that little ticket resting in my hand, thinking of the walk we took that evening. You spoke about the music all the way back home. I hardly knew why it returned so clearly. Such a small thing from an ordinary night had waited all these years inside your coat. Tall tree, there used to be a bench. We sat there many times with nowhere else to go. Branches hung much lower than close enough to touch. You carved no names, and neither did I. We sat talking past the hour until the path grew quiet and the park began to empty. Coming back today, I almost missed the place. The bench was gone and grass covered the ground. That tree had grown so tall, Its branches reached beyond me. For a while I stood beneath them, trying to remember which side you always chose. Then something small returned. You always left a little space for me. The ground. People cross the path without slowing down. I placed one hand against the roughened bark. Years had widened it more than I remembered. Perhaps we changed that way as well, slowly, without knowing when. I walked away beneath the branches, thinking of that empty space. You always left a little space for me. Funny how that came back after all these years. Not your words, not what we wore, only the place beside you, waiting for me. Beyond the crossing, the tracks were gone. Weeds had grown along the gravel line. Years ago, we waited here together, your hand resting close beside mine. Trains came slowly around the distant curve. You always watched until they disappeared. Now only gravel covered the ground. I stood where the platform had been. More times than I remember, your quiet voice stayed close to me. Days moved on beyond that little station, leaving behind what we once knew. I looked along the empty stretch of ground and heard your words inside my memory. Near the crossing, a new road passed. Cars move softly beyond the old fence. Someone had planted flowers near the corner, no sign remained above the gravel line. Once there had been a wooden bench for two. We sat there late, watching people leave. Before walking on, I touched the iron rail. Rust marked my hand for just a while. Here we waited more times than I remember. Your quiet voice stayed close to me. Days moved on beyond that little station, leaving behind what we once knew. I looked along the empty stretch of ground and heard your words inside my memory. Tucked between two records on the shelf, your old favorite waited there for years. Dust along the sleeve brushed against my hand. Carefully I placed it on the turntable. Softly the needle settled into place. Then came the opening I once knew so well. You used to listen with your eyes half closed. I stayed nearby and let the record play. That old song filled the quiet room, tender, just as I remembered. Your empty chair stood across from mine. For one brief moment I almost looked your way. Music kept turning underneath the needle. I listened through to the final note. Faint little scratches moved beneath the tune. Each one belonged to another time. Beside the player, your record sleeve remained. Corners worn thin from years of being held. Slowly the melody reached the final verse. I knew the ending before it arrived. After the needle reached the center line, I lifted it gently and left the record there. That old song filled the quiet room, low and tender, just as I remembered. Your empty chair stood across from mine. For one brief moment I almost looked your way. kept turning underneath the needle. I listened through to the final note. Riding homeward late in the afternoon, I watched the buildings passing through the glass. Then came a corner I had nearly forgotten, the narrow road where we once used to walk. For several seconds everything looked smaller. A row of houses slipped behind the trees. I leaned a little closer to the window, trying to see what time had left behind. The bus kept moving, I stayed in my seat, watching that old road fall farther away. You came to mind without any warning, walking beside me as you used to do. By the next corner, the view had disappeared, but something of you traveled on with me. People around me spoke in quiet voices. Someone near the front prepared to leave. Traffic moved slowly under fading daylight. Another street opened into view. I could have passed without remembering. Most days I probably would, but that brief glimpse was enough to bring back the way we wandered, with nowhere we had to be. The bus kept moving, I stayed in my seat, watching that old road fall farther away. You came to mind without any warning, walking beside me as you used to do. By the next corner, the view had disappeared, but something of you traveled on with me. Turning past the old stone wall, I heard the bells begin. Their sound came lightly through the trees, then faded down the street. You used to slow your steps there, as though we had all day. I would walk a little farther, then wait for you to come. Funny what returns, a sound, a certain place, and suddenly the years between feel smaller than they are. People passed in quiet pairs, carrying on their way. Leaves moved along the pavement near the edge of the road. Another bell rang farther off, lower than the first. I knew that tone, or thought I did. For several steps I heard you walking near me. Then the street grew quiet again, and I was there alone. By the corner, the bells had nearly faded. Only their last soft echoes reached between the trees. I didn't stop to find exactly where they came from. It mattered less than what they brought to mind. Your patient way of walking, your hand close beside mine. I carried those small memories as I continued down the road. Turning the corner, I knew the narrow street. Most of the houses had changed along the way. Near an old stone wall, a new lamp had been placed. Its quiet glow reached across the road. We often walk there without watching the time. You kept beside me at an easy pace. Seeing that street again brought back one small thing, how close your shoulder used to be to mine. Evening light fell across the street. For several steps I remembered your pace. The road had changed more than I expected, but walking there brought something back. Near the corner I slowed a while, then carried on without looking behind. Farther along, a gate stood partly open. Someone inside moved quietly out of sight. Soft light reached the pavement near my feet. I passed the place where we once turned. changed along that narrow way, yet one small memory stayed close to me. Reaching the corner, I slowed before I turned, then let the street disappear behind me. Evening light fell across the street. For several steps I remembered your pace. The road had changed more than I expected, but walking there brought something back. Near the corner, I slowed a while, then carried on without looking behind. Across the bay, a single light appeared. I knew its rhythm before the second turn. Years ago we watched it from the edge of the pier. Leaned beside me with both hands on the rail. Neither of us spoke, we didn't need to. Each sweep of light returned across the water by the third. You were looking at me. Tonight the pier was closed, so I watched from farther back. Ropes moved against the posts with a low wooden sound. Beyond the dark water, that same light came around. Once, then again, I counted without meaning to, the way we used to do. 3 slow turns, a pause, then brightness across the bay. People left before I did, and the shore grew quiet. I remained near the fence, watching from a distance. No promise came to mind, no words I wished to change. Only that turning light crossing the water again. When I finally walked away, it reached the shore behind me. I didn't turn around. I knew it would return. Walking slowly, I reached the old crossing. Across the pavement, something looked different. The tall tree was no longer there, only its circle remained in the ground. Years ago, we stopped beneath it, waiting for the heat to leave the road. You leaned against the roughened trunk, while I stood close beside you. I remember the shade falling over us, your quiet face turned toward mine. We never thought to remember that day. It was only a place to rest. Now the open sky reached all the way down, and I missed what once stood there. Cars moved past on the wider street, new signs hung above the crossing. People hurried through the afternoon, no one seemed to notice the change. Near the curb I stopped once more, a few dry leaves rested on the ground. Then came the thought I hadn't expected, how many ordinary days become the ones we keep. I remember the shade falling over us, your quiet face turned toward mine. We never thought to remember that day. It was only a place to rest. Now the open sky reached all the way down, and I missed what once stood there. Among the names once stopped my eyes, printed so plainly halfway down the page. Years had passed since I had seen it. For one brief moment the room fell away. Came your voice, quiet and low, how you would pause before saying my name. I read those letters once again, then rested the page against my hand. Your name came back softly to me, carrying years I thought had gone. No sudden sorrow, no word to say, only a memory passing through. Your name remained there on the page, and for a while, so did I. Others around me turn their pages. Chairs move gently across the floor. Nobody noticed why I had stopped, or what that name had brought to mind. So many details had slipped away, places we went, things that we said. But seeing your name was enough that day to bring your face close again. Your name came back softly to me, carrying years I thought had gone. No sudden sorrow, no words to say, only a memory passing through. Clouded daylight covered the bridge as I reached the railing. Dark water moved below, slow enough to watch. We had crossed this way for years without thinking where it ended. You would stop near the middle and look down at the current. I never asked why, I simply waited until you turned toward me, and we walked on together. Today my hands found the same cold rail. Traffic passed behind me, then faded farther away. Tall reeds leaned along the bank while a bicycle crossed the other side. I stopped there halfway across. For a moment I could almost recall the sound of your steps beside mine. words we spoke, only the pace, slow and easy, all the way across. By the time I reached the far side, the light had begun to fade. Birds moved above the water toward the distant shore. I walked several steps before looking back. From there the middle of the bridge seemed farther than before. You always waited there for me, it came back clearly. I rested my hand on the railing once more, then continued on. That afternoon, we walked a little farther. Neither of us was in a hurry then. You talked about something I can't remember. I only recall the sound of your voice. At the crossing, we waited for the light. Your hand brushed mine as people passed us by. We said we'd meet again in a few days and went our separate ways as we always did. We didn't know it was the last time. There was no reason for us to know. You smiled at me before you turned away. I watched you go, then carried on. If I had known, I might have stayed beside you a little longer. For many years, I remembered other things, places we went, and words we used to say. But lately it's that ordinary evening coming back more clearly than the rest. The way you turned just once before the corner, the easy wave you gave without a thought. I must have smiled and raised my hand to you, then watched the crowd carry you away. We didn't know it was the last time. There was no reason have stayed beside you a little longer. Cleaning the closet, I found your old coat. One sleeve had fallen across another hanger. Reaching inside to straighten the pocket, my fingers touched a folded piece of paper. The print had faded almost beyond reading. One corner carried a date from long ago. Then I remembered walking home beside you after the music had ended for the night. I kept that little ticket resting in my hand, thinking of the walk we took that evening. You spoke about the music all the way back home. I hardly knew why it returned so clearly. Such a small thing from an ordinary night had waited all these years inside your coat. Outside the closet, daylight crossed the floor. The coat looked smaller than I remembered. I turned the ticket carefully between my hands. Its paper softened along every fold. Most of that evening had slipped away with time. I couldn't name the songs we heard that night, but I remembered how slowly we walked home, neither of us ready for the evening to end. I kept that little ticket resting in my hand, thinking of the walk we took that evening. You spoke about the music all the way back home. I hardly knew why it returned so clearly. Such a small thing from an ordinary night had waited all these years inside your coat. Tall tree, there used to be a bench. We sat there many times with nowhere else to go. Branches hung much lower than close enough to touch. You carved no names, and neither did I. We simply sat, talking past the hour, until the path grew quiet and the park began to empty. Coming back today, I almost missed the place. The bench was gone and grass covered the ground. That tree had grown so tall, its branches reached beyond me. For a while I stood beneath them, trying to remember which side you always chose. Then something small returned. You always left a little space for me. The ground. People cross the path without slowing down. I placed one hand against the roughened bark. Years had widened it more than I remembered. Perhaps we changed that way as well, slowly, without knowing when. I walked away beneath the branches, thinking of that empty space. You always left a little space for me. Funny how that came back after all these years. Not your words, not what we wore, only the place beside you, waiting for me. Beyond the crossing, the tracks were gone. Weeds had grown along the gravel line. Years ago, we waited here together, your hand resting close beside mine. Trains came slowly around the distant curve. You always watched until they disappeared. Now only gravel covered the ground. I stood where the platform had been. More times than I remember, your quiet voice stayed close to me. Days moved on beyond that little station, leaving behind what we once knew. I looked along of ground and heard your words inside my memory. Near the crossing, a new road passed. Cars move softly beyond the old fence. Someone had planted flowers near the corner. No sign remained above the gravel line. Once there had been a wooden bench for two. We sat there late, watching people leave. Before walking on, I touched the iron rail. Rust marked my hand for just a while. Here we waited more times than I remember. Your quiet voice stayed close to me. Days moved on beyond that little station, leaving behind what we once knew. I looked along the empty stretch of ground and heard your words inside my memory. Tucked between two records on the shelf, your old favorite waited there for years. Dust along the sleeve brushed against my hand. Carefully I placed it on the turntable. Softly the needle settled into place. Then came the opening I once knew so well. You used to listen with your eyes half closed. I stayed nearby and let the record play. That old song filled the quiet room, low and tender, just as I remembered. Your empty chair stood across from mine. For one brief moment I almost looked your way. Music kept turning underneath the needle. I listened through to the final note. Faint little scratches moved beneath the tune. Each one belonged to another time. Beside the player, your record sleeve remained. Corners worn thin from years of being held. Slowly the melody reached the final verse. I knew the ending before it arrived. I lifted it gently and left the record there. That old song filled the quiet room, low and tender, just as I remembered. Your empty chair stood across from mine. For one brief moment I almost looked your way. Music kept turning underneath the needle. I listened through to the final note. Riding homeward late in the afternoon, I watched the buildings passing through the glass. Then came a corner I had nearly forgotten, the narrow road where we once used to walk. For several seconds everything looked smaller. A row of houses slipped behind the trees. I leaned a little closer to the window, trying to see what time had left behind. The bus kept moving, I stayed in my seat, watching that old road fall farther away. You came to mind without any warning, walking beside me as you used to do. By the next corner, the view had disappeared, but something of you traveled on with me. People around me spoke in quiet voices. Someone near the front prepared to leave. Traffic moved slowly under fading daylight. Another street opened into view. I could have passed without remembering. Most days I probably would, but that brief glimpse was enough to bring back the way we wandered, with nowhere we had to be. The bus kept moving, I stayed in my seat, watching that old road fall farther away. You came to mind without any warning, walking beside me as you used to do. By the next corner, the view had disappeared, but something of you traveled on with me. the bells begin. Their sound came lightly through the trees, then faded down the street. You used to slow your steps there, as though we had all day. I would walk a little farther, then wait for you to come. Funny what returns, a sound, a certain place, and suddenly the years between feel smaller than they are. People passed in quiet pairs, carrying on their way. Leaves moved along the pavement near the edge of the road. Another bell rang farther off, lower than the first. I knew that tone, or thought I did. For several steps I heard you walking near me. Then the street grew quiet again, and I was there alone. By the corner, the bells had nearly faded. Only their last soft echoes reached between the trees. I didn't stop to find exactly where they came from. It mattered less than what they brought to mind. Your patient way of walking, your hand close beside mine. I carried those small memories as I continued down the road. Turning the corner, I knew the narrow street. Most of the houses had changed along the way. Near an old stone wall, a new lamp had been placed. Its quiet glow reached across the road. We often walk there without watching the time. You kept beside me at an easy pace. Seeing that street again brought back one small thing, how close your shoulder used to be to mine. Evening light fell across the street. For several steps I remembered your pace. The road had changed more than I expected, but walking there brought something back. Near the corner I slowed a while, then carried on without looking behind. gate stood partly open. Someone inside moved quietly out of sight. Soft light reached the pavement near my feet. I passed the place where we once turned. Much had changed along that narrow way, yet one small memory stayed close to me. Reaching the corner, I slowed before I turned, then let the street disappear behind me. Evening light fell across the street. For several steps I remembered your pace. The road had changed more than I expected, but walking there brought something back. Near the corner I slowed a while, then carried on without looking